Hi, I'm Dr. Virginia Kiefer. I'm one of the veterinarians here at Animal Medical Hospital. I'm here today to talk to you about the problem of being overweight or obese in our pets. Being overweight and obese is a very common problem that we see in our veterinary patients and our dogs and cats. Just to give you an idea of how common this is across the country, in the United States, about 50% of dogs and cats are considered overweight or obese, and actually 20% of dogs and cats are obese. Now, what does that mean exactly? All of our dogs and cats come in different shapes and sizes, so what's too big for one pet might be just right for another pet. So in the veterinary profession, we use a body condition scoring system. It's either a 1 to 5 scale or a 1 to 9 scale, depending on which vet you are and which scale that you follow. I personally use the 1 out of 9 scale. So 9 out of 9 would mean that your pet is obese, very overweight, and 1 out of 9 would mean that your pet is very thin and emaciated. So an ideal weight for a pet, an ideal body condition score would be about a 5 out of 9. So what is the problem with being overweight or being obese? Similar to people, there are a lot of health problems that can occur secondary to being overweight. One would be the risk of osteoarthritis. In large breed dogs, like my dog Yogi, a very common problem that we see is an orthopedic disease called cranial cruciate ligament rupture. In people, you think of it as tearing the ACL. It's basically a ligament in the knee that can tear, and it's more common to happen in dogs that are overweight or obese. It's a painful, debilitating injury that often requires surgery. Other problems that we can see, diabetes and insulin resistance, heart disease, cardiovascular disease, like high blood pressure, kidney disease. Some forms of cancer are linked to being overweight. So those are just a couple of problems that we see. And the big thing is that we can also see a decrease in life expectancy in our pets. So taking off a year or two of their life just because they're overweight. So for them, since they don't live as long, that's a pretty big deal. So how do we tell if our pet is overweight or obese? What do we do to determine a body condition score? I'm going to have my pet Yogi help us with this part. Yogi, I would consider him to be in a good body condition. Can you stand up? Up you go. He's about 75 pounds. He's a 3-year-old golden retriever. What I do is I rub my hand along the side of his chest, and I can feel his ribs very easily. It should feel like you're putting your fingers across the tops of your hand. You should be able to feel the definition between the ribs. He's got a nice waist that I can see from above, and he's got a nice tucked waist from below, which is hard to see because he's very furry, but it's there, I promise. So that would be normal. Your pet might be overweight if you can't feel the ribs very easily, if you don't really see a waist, if there's no definition from underneath the waist. Sometimes they have extra fat deposits on the tops of the tail, that kind of a thing. Of course, your vet is the best person to be able to give your pet an actual body condition score. So if you're worried that your pet might be overweight or obese, the first thing to do would be to see your veterinarian, have a thorough physical exam, maybe some blood work to be done to see if there's any underlying medical problem that contributed to the excess weight, and then to discuss a plan, diet, exercise, being the staples of that plan, and what's best for you, what's best for your pet, helping you set some goals, getting an ideal weight for your pet, that kind of a thing. So for any questions, concerns you might have, please let us know. We're here to help you. And thanks so much for your attention.